Hello. I'm here to tell you why you suck at playtesting. I just want a quick disclaimer. This is not QA, and this is sort of aimed at indies. I gotta like sync this. That's annoying. My background is in games, but a few years ago I sort of delved into startup land, and they have this saying there: write code and talk to users. Because sort of to make a good product, you have to solve people's problems, right? And to check you're actually doing that, you need to talk to people, right? And if it's not, you sort of change what you're doing, what you're building. So, and I kind of realized if you're making a commercial game, right, this is sort of the same thing. It's not that different. We write shitloads of code, but we don't really talk to people enough. And I think, in short, sort of indies are validating too little too late. Obviously, that's a really bad way to think about art, right? But at the end of the day, sort of, everyone's dream here is to sort of, be able to pay the bills with this sort of thing, right? So it is what it is. So how do we validate, right? Playtesting. So I spent all of Friday just like talking to devs at PAX about their playtesting process. And I spoke to one person doing it right. One. There was a guy working on his game for 10 years that it was his first public test. That's insane. There's no excuse either, right? There's sort of 30 years of how to do this properly, and research and best practices of how to do this. So here's a list, right? Here's my listicle BuzzFeed style. So here's a sick graph. Research says that after 5 tests, you'll find 80% of the problems, usability problems. There's sort of no real point in testing a huge sample, right? Because most people will say the same thing. So the best way to do this is you build a pool of testers, and you choose 5 at a time for a test. This also keeps testers fresh. Fresh testers will give better insights on your build. A huge one is not recording gameplay. Gameplay is more important than any survey you could ask because it makes the consequences of bad design visible. Even the most stubborn devs can't argue with seeing someone mess up your tutorial for 20 minutes and it's supposed to take 5, right? This one's super simple. You just ask your players to think out loud. This is super crucial in user testing and lets you see what players are thinking. This also does slow their performance though and sort of reduces their immersion a bit, so you have to consider if it's right for you. Testers also feel really stupid doing this, so make sure to reassure them and thank them. And if you're there in person and you're doing this, just let them talk. Don't say anything. Ask stuff like, why are you doing that? What are you thinking? But try not to talk. Not testing early enough is a really big one as well. Test as early as you have a playable build, and keep doing it throughout the dev cycle. It's pretty simple. You just tell people it's unfinished, right? Hoping your game magically gets good at version 7 or 0.7 is not really a valid business model. Yeah, testing 3 times a year is really not good enough. You should be trying to test at every major feature. More tests is really important because it lets you see trends in gameplay. Players are great at realizing when things don't feel right, but they're really bad at suggesting stuff. So trends are really important. Yeah, a big one is playtesting with your mates and playtesting with your dev mates. These are the worst people you can test with. Unless your game is specifically for them, these people are probably not your target demographic, right? Cool thing is, there's lots of weirdos in Discord right now that want to play your game, and you should talk to them instead, right? Communities of similar games are really good to talk to, and putting playtest sign-up links in your socials are also a great idea. Not having a goal for a test is a huge one as well. If playtests are sort of experiment to see if your game is fun, experiments need to have an objective. And if you want to have, you should sort of aim for goals like, does this new gun feel good? How's the second level going, right? And then that can help focus your survey questioning and analyzing feedback. Testing in different countries is also really important for cultural differences. You shouldn't assume the US, UK, and Oz are all the same. Just ask an American what a rubber or a thong is, right? Super important things. So yes, obviously this is all very hard, right? And there's a reason indies don't do this stuff, is because it's a huge pain. So it would be really sick if an app did this, right? It'd be cool if you could just send someone a link and like get gameplay and surveys automatically. It'd also be great if you didn't have to watch like hours of gameplay to just get to the good bits. So like, hey, you know, I'm making that up. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, there's the QR code. Yeah, that's it.